Hi everyone! In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating process of building a backyard bunker from scratch. From digging the perfect hole to pouring reinforced concrete and setting up essential systems, you'll see how these creators are turning their vision into a solid underground shelter. Let's explore how it's done, step by step. They'll be using concrete to build the pool, but first, a large hole needs to be dug. To get the exact square shape required, they shaped the edges manually using shovels. It's a bit like digging a bunker. You need to go deep enough for protection and structure, but not so deep that it becomes unsafe or difficult to work in. Insulation of the whole structure is a crucial aspect you need to solve. Since this area is located below ground level, water tends to accumulate rather than evaporate. Mold and mildew may grow, which could be dangerous to anyone who is sheltering there. Reinforcing your shelter is a crucial step in building an underground bunker. Begin by setting up a proper foundation before setting up your shelter to support your bunker. Concrete is one of the best materials for a basic foundation, but can be prone to cracking. Use reinforced concrete or self-healing concrete for greater results. While the concrete cures, they get to build the stairs down the bunker. The foundation on which the concrete stairs rest is to be properly constructed so that the loads are transferred into ground successfully and to resist the movement. The most important step when building concrete stairs is to use a proper formwork. The angle of flight, dimensions of tread, and riser are to be properly checked. Pouring of concrete into the formworks is started from the lowest part up. Using a concrete vibrator while pouring the concrete is recommended to fill the gaps in the stairs and avoid the honeycomb formation. The stairs require at least 21 days to dry out completely, so the removal of formwork is to be done only after 21 days. Proper curing prevents cracks in stairs due to thermal expansion. Once the stairs are done, he starts building the formwork for the concrete walls. Reinforced concrete to create an extra outer layer for added protection. The walls of the bunker need to be at least 1 to 3 feet thick. Plastic will prevent any concrete from leaking and weakening the structure. Walls need to be thick and reinforced to add extra protection against explosive shock waves and radiation. Formwork is a temporary structure used as a mold for the original structure. Formwork material is selected depending upon factors like cost, requirement, type of structure. Timber is the most commonly used material. That's why timber formwork is also called traditional formwork. It is the most economical material of all the options. Timber has good thermal resistance, which prevents the damage of concrete in colder regions. Plywood, which is a manufactured product of timber, is also used for formworks. Nowadays, the use of plywood formwork increases, especially for facing panels. Plywood formwork provides a smooth finish when compared to normal timber formwork. The thickness of the concrete ceilings varies according to the weight it has to support, but it is usually between 5 to 6 inches. Taking into consideration the weight of the rebar structure and the weight of the concrete, building a sturdy form is essential for any project. A key element for the bunker is the ventilation openings. Open a circular hole and then place a long pipe, long enough to reach ground level. The edge needs to be isolated as well, with foam, for example. Other piping needs to be added before pouring concrete, especially to make sure you can install light and electricity later. You cannot just place a concrete box underground and call it a bunker. If you're going to live in it, it has ought to have basic systems for your survival. You cannot survive in a closed space without water. Regardless of your stay duration, a reliable water filtration system is something you should look into. Formwork should only be removed when the concrete has hardened to the point that it can support its own load and loads placed upon it. Otherwise, it could shift or collapse without support. Water damage can create mold if untreated and destroy your structures. Coat your bunker and protective systems with waterproof materials, such as rubberized asphalt or cementitious waterproof coating. Foam boards are used as extra protection against moisture. Foam board insulation offers nearly double the R value of any other insulation material. They help reduce heat conduction through wood and steel studs. Moreover, they're stronger, water-resistant, easier to work with, and permeable to water vapor. It also gives the structure an extra layer of sturdiness. Here again, the plastic cover prevents any direct contact with water or any material. make sure to extend it entirely on the whole surface. Now that the concrete structure is finished, it can be buried. You'll need to hide the roof of your underground bunker from view. To prevent people from discovering your bunker, cover it with dirt and local fauna. Try your best to ensure that it blends into the surrounding environment as much as possible. Once the bunker is operative, you have to think of how to furnish it. Avoid dumping all of your equipment into a corner. For a long stay, you'll need a thorough inventory and a method for keeping track. Air and ventilation systems are also important, as they provide clean air inside the bunker. An NBC nuclear, biological, chemical, air filtration system takes the outside air. Filters out impurities, germs, and other toxins. This system runs on power, but can also be automated to switch to backup energy. After building, you need to clean all the debris from the area, making sure you have an optimal surface for further building. In the First World War, the belligerents built underground shelters, called dugouts in English, while the Germans used the term bunker. The sense of a military dugout or a reinforced concrete shelter was first recorded in 1939. Albania is the country with more bunkers, with an average of 14.7 bunkers per square mile.